Windy City Women. Windy City Women. Windy City Women. Two comedians talking about some stuff.
Are you eating grapes?
I'm eating cherries and they're the most amazing things that I can ever
Cherries. Are they the kind with pits in them?
get. And I
Nice.
want
I haven't had some cherries.
experience ever.
Wait, what did you say?
I am high, so this is like the most amazing experience ever.
What do you mean you're high? We're both high.
Yeah, but like,
Look at our faces right now.
look at our faces right
Should
now.
we do the podcast or just talk about how high we are?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Well, this is Windy City Women. We are two Chicago comedians bringing you comedy and entertainment while discussing what's going on in our windy city of Chicago, Illinois. I'm Amanda Costner.
And I am Kells the Comic.
And thank you. We got 2 new subscribers on our YouTube channel. Thanks to our
Love
2.
Both of you.
Appreciate y'all. And thanks to everyone who's been listening.
And
Okay, so let's talk about what's going on. We're a segment where we talk about the news. What's the news at the water cooler?
I'm really disappointed with our What's Going On segment this episode.
Why?
Well, the first one is Meg Thee Stallion gets shot in the feet. Not even the feet. She gets feet accosted. And I know that this is supposed to be
Accosted.
we're supposed to be sad for her. She got on Instagram and I saw the Instagram and she was like, I just want to thank everybody that gave me their well wishes because like what if like I lost a toe or something? Like it could have been so tragic. And
She could have, Kels. She could have lost a toe. Come on. Is this not important to you?
Not only is it not important to me or or anyone else alive, I really want to interview Tori because as big as Meg Thee Stallion is, her feet gotta at least be a size 11 or 12. And you mean to tell me you shot both them feet and didn't do no damage? You didn't hit a toe, you didn't hit a vein, you didn't hit a... How large are these
So
feet?
he shot them? Is that the consensus? None of the articles will come right out and say he shot her.
But also, like, she was in the live, like, and I had people around me, Tori, that you around you in your life, and you think that they're there for good reasons, but they really shoot you in the feet. I mean, don't shoot me in the feet because I'm not confirming it, but also I was shot in the feet by someone whose name rhymes with Bori.
Are you telling me you don't feel sorry for her at all? Come on, how would you feel if your foot got all salt and peppered up with bullets?
Do you know how many different situations have to happen before somebody gets shot in the feet?
Walk us through that scenario, Kels.
Okay, so first, you gotta have like your feet out in prime shot area. Like if you're walking, nobody can shoot you in the feet. Like you have to be standing there ready to be shot in the feet. That's
Her
one.
feet were asking for it.
One, yes. What type of socks was she wearing? Let's get down to the nitty gritty here. And then 2, like, to get shot in the feet, what did you do to provoke that? Yeah, I'm victim blaming a little bit. Do you know how mad you have to shoot somebody in the foot? Like, you don't want to kill them, but you want to say, I don't ever want you to walk comfortably again. Ever. I'm going to shoot you in the feet.
Sometimes when I smell my girlfriend's feet, I want to shoot her in the feet.
Exactly. And so, do I feel sorry for her? No. Do I want anybody to be shot in the feet? Also, no. Do I think this is hilarious? Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, is this also depressing to you? Probably. Talib Kweli got lit on fire after getting busted harassing multiple women on Twitter. Then he ended up deleting his account. It was kind of interesting. You were bringing this up, and I wanted to say earlier, but I saved it for the show, luckily. Everyone, y'all are lucky I saved this piece of... I'm about to shit a piece of gold on our listeners. Thank you. Appropriate drum roll. Thank you. Okay, so basically, what I was going to say is, it's interesting that he got canceled, but because of kind of cancel culture, but also he was the aggressor. Like, he was trying to cancel and harass somebody, and I think that's why he got canceled. And also, he had sex with a porn star.
Again, I blame coronavirus. I blame coronavirus. I think what happened is he's really, really bored and really, really high and or drunk. And then there's social media. And you are now just being a creep on social media where you may have been able to hide it with human interaction or whatever have you. I think that this is why you shouldn't participate in cancel culture, because you can then get canceled. Like,
Why was he harassing the women? I'm trying to look and see.
from my interpretation, I think he was just being douchey to them, or like, I don't know, Amanda. And that's the thing. Everyone is so, what's the word I want to be like? I don't know, sensitive. Like, I don't know. He could have, who knows what the fuck really happened, because he deleted all the shit and people are being all like hush hush about it. But I feel like,
Oh man, he tweeted at Maya A. Moody hundreds of times for more than 2 weeks and threatened to do so for the next 13 years. 13 years, that's random.
well, so here's the thing, and I'm not even trying to be this person, but how much does someone tweeting at you hurt? Like, are you getting a tweet like, ow, oh God, this person's tweeting me? Like, block.
Some people, there was a kid that killed himself last week or like a few weeks ago, supposedly because of Twitter.
Because one person tweeted him over and over again.
It was like a video game star. I'm doing him injustice because it was like a hot news item, but basically he like had some sort of mental breakdown. He asked his like ex-girlfriend to marry him on Twitter. But it was eerie because when you went on Twitter, all these people were telling him to go kill himself, and then he killed himself. So I think I get what you're saying. I've had shit said to me on Twitter and I just like got over it. But some people some people are sensitive.
Yeah, and I mean, I have my thoughts about that. But in these two grown adults worlds, I think that this is like, oh boy, I'd rather talk about being shot in the feet. It's like, you guys are, what's up?
What about we talk about these second round of stimulus checks we're about to get? Supposedly, I'm waiting for this money to come in.
I feel like I don't even remember the first one. I feel like as soon as the first one came, it was like to everybody who got them. Also, I'm just kind of like waiting for the other shoe to drop, because 2020 has been like, you get a stimulus check and you get extra unemployment this and you get $10,000, and I feel like in 2021 it's going to be like, and you don't get a tax refund and you owe this much. Like, I don't know, like taxes are just going to be absorbent or something, who knows. Like, I feel like these people are going to get their money back somehow. But either who, sign
I
me
don't
up.
know. What'd you say?
Sign me up for the money. I'm here for the stimulus check.
Give me the stimulus check. What's that, Jerry Maguire shit?
Yes. I actually think that this time right now where the government is just able to go get this like free money or whatever, this would be a great time to circle back and talk about reparations for Black people, but I won't go there. Like, maybe we should get 3 stimulus checks and everybody gets one. I don't know. Something to throw out there if anybody's listening.
I couldn't agree more.
Like, while we just got money to throw out there.
I think it's evident we do. The fact that they're able to do this. They're always lying. I mean, the amount of money we spend on our military in one fucking year, we absolutely could do reparations in a real way. But
in a real way, but
I was actually thinking about this today. I had an argument with my girlfriend about this, which is so funny. An ethnically Indian lady and a white lady arguing about reparations for Black people. But I was thinking, like, some cities are electing to do it in the form of like investing more in the Black neighborhoods and things like that, programs. And I'm like, okay, that's better than nothing. I'm like, but I think they should give out checks to people. That's what happens. And my girlfriend was like, but how would that money stay? And I'm like, because families make sure their money stays in their families. It does come down generation to generation, you see it. I think actual money would help.
Yeah, so here's the thing about developing the neighborhoods and all the other stuff. Me, myself personally, I don't know if anyone knows this, for the people who are listening, I am Black. In addition to being Black, I don't have kids. It's just me and my Black ass self. So if you take this quote unquote reparations and put it into school systems or something like that, that's great. But what about me? So, to that, give me the money, show me the money, and I'll figure it out. And as far as like, how is it gonna stay? We'll figure that out.
It does stay. Families protect their money. They give it to their kids and their inheritance in other forms. For instance, if you're saying you might not have kids, but maybe you're able to be a better support system for a friend or a sibling of yours who then has kids, or maybe, who knows, like, it's not just about, leaving physical money to your kids, but we'll see if that happens. I don't know. People, on the other hand, I think people just see, I don't understand why people can't get on board with like agreeing that Black people matter. I absolutely understand why white people aren't going to get on board with like, give me some money. They're going to see it as taking their money.
That's kind of, and I'm going to just touch this and go away from it. This kind of is what I was saying as far as like the Black Lives Matter thing. It's like when someone tells you, hey, don't touch this button, all you want to do is touch that button, right? So if you're out there screaming Black Lives Matter and I already don't give a fuck about Black lives, now I kind of just want to just go scream all lives matter, or fuck like this. We can't agree on Black Lives Matter because we have people out here like Black Lives Matter. Like, okay.
Kells, are you saying you're an all lives matter?
No, I'm saying,
just kidding.
I'm saying I'm a who gives a fuck.
How about let's give a fuck about our mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot.
Is the epitome of like Black people working for white bosses. Like she just wants to do good, but then it's also like
it's time for Lori's Stories, where we talk about Lori Lightfoot, our mayor of Chicago. Okay, so did you see the other day she removed the Columbus statue in like the cold middle of the night?
I did. And how do you feel about that?
I liked it, but then I saw today that she's now saying like it might be temporary. They had quote unquote intelligence that it was going to be stolen or vandalized or something.
So here's my issue with that. I feel like she's playing hokey pokey with us as far as
what the hell kind of term is that? No, what are you, 97, Kells?
Yeah, well, one, I am 97. Two, like I feel like she puts her left foot in, she puts her right foot, like she's
Oh,
really
yeah.
dancing in this situation, and she's not standing firm on anything. So she does this thing with the Columbus thing that like threw the party outside of her house, like oh yeah, whatever. And then after you have this like light shined on you, then you go, but by the way, I'm gonna put it back. What the fuck? And so then that leads me to, did you see that she made the tweet about I'm not gonna let Trump send anybody into Chicago, blah 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 blah. And then the next day it came out and she was like, I'm just playing. They're gonna come in. They're just not gonna be the FBI.
Oh shit, I didn't see that. Who's
Yeah.
coming in?
She like extra police force or something, and she was like trying to make it seem like I'm gonna make them do what I say they're gonna do, but they're still coming in from Trump to help the situation, and it's still gonna incite whatever. And what I feel about her is that is why she dresses that way, because she's flaky as fuck. Like, you can't decide what size clothes you wear. You can't decide what you want to do with your hair. You can't decide, like, even if whatever intelligence going to be stolen, whatever excuse you made to say why you left it and put it back, when you saw how happy it made people put, they threw a fucking party outside of your house. When you saw that, you should have went, okay, maybe I'll keep this thing, out. But you're so fucking flaky, and I do think,
well, she's always been kind of pro-police, right? Isn't she an ex-lawyer for the police or something?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. What we're talking about today, we're talking about The Chi. All right, our TV show, quote unquote, kind of. Some might think, Lena Waithe's creation about basically it's about the south side of Chicago. And it's interesting because I was just watching earlier an episode, and the kids are talking about Mayor Lightfoot, or her character played by Lena Waithe. And one of the kids, the main kid, Kevin, he says like, she's a wolf in sheep's clothing. And I'm like, ooh, that reminds me. I think a lot of people have that opinion of her.
Yeah. And it's almost, not even almost, it definitely is worse than Obama, because you're not even as high up as him. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could be bolder, you could be louder, you could be a lot firmer in your whatever, but you're not. And you're also very badly dressed.
What do you think her goal is for the city?
I think she's already hit her goal. I think her goal for
Just being mayor was her goal.
Yeah, and I think being Mayor Lightfoot was her goal. I think for her to not just be a mayor of Chicago, but to be like the mayor of Chicago. Because now, even people who don't live in Chicago, they hit me up like, oh my God, I saw your mayor was on the news, and oh my God, like, she is now like a mayor, and you did that with literally the least amount of effort possible, right? You didn't do it because you're fashionable or whatever. Like, you literally did it because coronavirus. That's honestly how you got popular.
Coronavirus!
So, I mean,
you will never forgive her for her fashion sense, will you?
No, I won't forgive her for it, because I feel like that's you telling me that you don't care. You don't care about yourself. You don't care about the city. You don't care to make a firm, like, line, drawing a line in the sand. And I think that's why I don't subscribe to politics, honestly, because it's like, if you are subscribing to something where you can't do that, or you'll lose your job, or you'll be seen as that, whatever, then what the fuck is it about? Like, what are we doing it about?
We're all playing games in our various positions.
Exactly.
There's politics and comedy, you must admit.
No, there are politics in comedy, and here's the thing about it: if there's going to be politics in comedy, at least you're gonna have a bomb ass hat, right? Wear a T-shirt that I like. Like at least there's gonna
Your
be.
T-shirt is bomb ass.
Thank you. Mayor Lightfoot, however, is not. That's what I'm saying. Like you're offensive to all of my senses, and I just, I get it. No, and I get it.
All right, well, it's time to enough teasing. It's time to get on to our main topic of the day. We're talking about that television show, The Chi, created by Lena Waithe, a comedian and actress known for being in the Aziz Ansari Netflix series Master of None, as well as for being the first Black woman to win the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Writing for a Comedy Series. She won the award for her work on The Chi. The show takes place on the south side of Chicago, following a connected group of individuals ranging from young kids to middle-aged adults who care for the elderly. After season 2, the show became embroiled in scandal after one actress and one, I think, showrunner, at least that came out publicly, reported misconduct from the show's lead and star, Jason Mitchell. The show is currently in the middle of its 3rd season on Showtime, and that, of course, we're speaking about The Chi. And they most recently aired the 6th episode, I believe.
So, tell me, how do you like it?
Well, I was going to ask you, I'll give you my early thoughts, because I kind of wanted to ask you what you thought of it early on, like just altogether post season 1.
Okay. I'm going to be really, 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 really blunt. Before Jason got me too'd, I was so into The Chi. It was such a good show. So good. This season it's not terrible. Okay? Like the plot isn't bad, the writing isn't terrible. It's not that. It's just if you've been watching it from the beginning, there wasn't a seamless transition from the last season to this season. Like last season, Jason's like walking off into the sunset, like da da da. This season, he's dead. This is how spoiler alert, guys. But I don't know. It's very, and I feel like a lot of.
Oh yeah, we should have given a spoiler alert. We are going to talk about spoilers. If you haven't seen the show, we will definitely be talking about plot lines. So maybe go watch the show first.
But he, like, I don't like how they just killed him and it was that, and it was just, and I feel like everything that's going on in this season, like you said, this is like the 6th episode, and I still don't understand why some characters are here now. I don't.
But you liked it early on.
Definitely. Loved it.
What do you think, how do you think it compares to real life in Chicago? Do you think it's an accurate portrayal of what it's like to live on the south side of Chicago? And let our listeners know where you were born and raised, if you don't mind.
Okay. So I was born and raised on the west side of Chicago.
She's doing the west side hand signal right now. Also the Windy City Women hand signal.
Mm-hmm. And so do I think that it is a good portrayal of Chicago? No. I think it's actors acting. I think that so there's one part that is like hilarious. I rewound it like 7 times. What's the guy? The light skinned guy who's running Brandon's food thing now. Mm-hmm. What's whatever his name is. He was talking to somebody and he was, or I think when he was giving out a flyer or something, and he was like, "Here you go, Joe." And it was like this pause, like, because, you know, everybody in Chicago says Joe, like, "What's up, Joe?" Ooh, but it's very fluid. And I think they said like woo 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 also. And like they're trying to use Chicago lingo, but it's very like
I've
staccato.
heard the woo
Very,
woo reference.
yeah, like instead of how they said it was not like yeah,
Well,
man.
that's
So
just an indictment of the actors.
yeah, but also like where in the conversation it was placed, it looked like you just put it there so somebody can say that's a Chicago term. Like you know what I'm saying? Instead of it being fluid in the conversation.
Well, I kind of know what you're talking about because one thing I binged this show. I just recently binged the show. And one thought I had consistently every few episodes was this show's kind of cheesy. Like sometimes it is. Like every article you read about The Shy compares it to The Wire. And it's very comparable to The Wire, like down to like some of the characters are similar and like some of the settings seem similar. I get why they compare it to The Wire, but there are some moments that are really cheesy that are very like, ah shucks, everything in the end, be a good kid and go work hard, go to college, and if you go to college, your life will be good. Like, no, that's not true anymore.
So here's the thing. In But in the beginning, before that one guy got me too'd, the cheesiness was
Jason with
almost like
Mitchell.
it was almost like a charm, like the cheesiness was. But now with this season that they're trying to make it almost like a real show and like all of these things are happening, now the cheesiness looks a bit low budget. Like, okay.
Can I
And
just
also
confess to you that I get the show I was watching before I started binging The Shy is Downton Abbey, like the whitest shit you can possibly watch on the face of this planet.
oh, that's terrible. I mean, and then also what I don't like is whenever, and this may be just my West Side bias, but whenever anybody hears Chicago, you automatically think the South Side. It's so provocative. Let's talk about the South Side. Um, we could throw in somebody from the West Side. We could talk about up north. We could talk about like and then also like watching it. Some of the places were shot on the West Side, and I'm looking like, hey, give the West Side some shots, some props or whatever. But
You think it could
also,
be more representative of the whole city?
yeah, it could be more if you're gonna call it the Shy, or if you're gonna call it the South Side of Chicago, call it the South Side of Chicago. I mean,
Fair enough.
she's from the South Side, I get it, but this season could have been better. What do you think?
About this season, I love it. I love the gay shit. Everything is always so heteronormative, and this season isn't. It's starting with that opening episode that is just completely almost an hour of a lesbian wedding. Listeners, if you haven't heard before, I am a raging lesbian. So that shit's right up my alley. I can totally see why you might not be feeling this season, but I am the opposite.
So here's the thing: if I don't mind it, right? I'm not like watching it like, oh my god, this is like a bunch of gay shit. But how the second season ended, it seems forced in the third season. Like the first two seasons are like, this is what Chicago is like. And then the third season is like, it's raining rainbows. Hallelujah. Like
But that is what Chicago's like for somebody who's like a raging homosexual.
so but what I'm saying is like we could have been tying this in from season one. We could have been
I
like
am surprised. I wonder why she waited until they got Me Too to be more and to emphasize the queer relationship more. Why do you
so
think
here's
that
what
is?
because I don't think that it was ever a part of the show. I don't think that I think that you had where it was
Why
going.
not? She's a raging lesbian. It makes no sense.
I
Lena
think
Waithe,
that
that is. That's who I'm talking about, the creator.
I think that it wasn't from the point of view that it started, it wasn't it doesn't make sense for it to be a focal point, right? So if what you're talking about is these inner city kids in the youth and woo woo up the band, like the stuff that's going on now in season 3, I have never seen in the hood.
What
I'm not
about
saying
the
it's
part about
good.
Keisha getting kidnapped and all that, which is creepy as fuck. I hate. That's my least favorite part. I hate watching that stuff. It creeps me out because I
So
know it
yeah,
really happens.
well, I'm saying that stuff, yeah. But I don't think that any of what's happening this season is where this was going at all. Because like Keisha was kind of like bratty or whatever in the first 2 seasons, but like now all of a sudden she's like a tattoo getting crazy Instagram having date like whoa.
Yeah, but she's also a teenager. Teenagers, go bounce from one personality to the next sometimes.
That's true. And then I would have liked it if there would have been some type of transition. You went from having from the dad die to not really knowing what's going on with the mom to the mom popping up having a lesbian relationship with like crazy lesbian sex all of a sudden, and then
It's not that crazy.
I mean I don't know
It's
like
just a strap.
I mean again like that's what I'm saying like I don't know like I'm saying like usher me into it. Don't be like bloop, and here's the story. Like, whoa.
Lena, can you hear me? Here's what you need to do: make Kells happy. Just show a little tip of the strap, a little tip of the penis strap, half a second of the strap, and then next episode show 4 seconds of a little bit more of the strap.
Or no, my thing is like
It'll be like this.
I don't
incremental.
My thing is the season 2 or something. I don't know. She could have dated a lady or something. Like, I'm just saying, like the stuff was very like.
What do you mean? She's been with her all 3 seasons.
She's not been with that lady. The woman, the wife.
Yeah, the mom.
I've never seen her.
What
the girl, the lady who she's got married to in season 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen that lady until season 3.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just slept, walk through it.
I'm gonna go back and look to it, but I've never seen that lady.
I'm gonna see if she's credited in the first season. Maybe she just had a super small role, or I'm wrong.
I want to, because I'm like,
I wanna know who is right, Kells or Amanda.
1, 2, the mayor now has this crazy wife, and they're having like this crazy sex, and I'm wondering where she came from. Like none of this makes sense. It makes it feel like you're just throwing things at me to cover up that this guy died, and you don't want
to think about Lori Lightfoot having crazy sex with her wife.
1, I don't want to think about that. But no, I'm talking about the guy mayor. The guy mayor, not the the what's his name?
His campaign manager.
Yeah. So is she he called her wife? So she's a wife.
Oh, I thought they were business partners. Yeah, no, it's a little confusing.
Saying, Amanda, the whole season 3 is like her doing this at you. This is what season 3 is like, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense for the first 2 seasons. The first 2 seasons was like clear what was happening. I could follow that. This season is just like, if I keep doing this and just end the season, you won't ask me any questions because it's too many things to ask questions about.
Okay.
A brother popped up out of nowhere.
Who? Oh, yeah.
The older brother. You killed the one brother.
Yeah, that was too weird, too. Yeah.
And then, so a new brother comes. Then a new wife campaign manager comes. Then this wife who
she's in the pilot according to this article. Okay, Malkia Stampley. This is really entertaining airwave space. We must know who. Okay, continue.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't disagree with you. You're right. But what would you have them do? Like, should they have left him on a couple more episodes or all of the whole season?
You could have, because who was the funeral for? The funeral was for
Which one? There's tons of funerals. Why can't I find this bitch?
The first funeral in like the third season, I think, because you thought the funeral was going to be for the other guy and it wasn't. Like you could, the only thing that they alluded to about it was when they were in the kitchen and she was like, "Oh, you used to work for Brandon," and he was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "Oh, fuck Brandon," and he was like, "You can't talk about the dead or whatever." But like you didn't go into how he died, what happened to his like it was he had a whole storyline of people that just disappeared and you did not talk about. That's not good writing. You could have had a half an episode and said this nigga family went over here or something. Like you know what I'm saying? Like this is that makes sense. And now we're gonna insert this. It just was like a lot of I don't know.
So okay, when did the show start? 2018?
2 seasons ago. Yeah, maybe 2018, 2017, something like that.
Yeah. She's in as early as episode 3, but I just don't think she has a prominent role until the third season, like you said.
Okay. Well, I never seen her, paid attention to her. I didn't know she was alive.
Since we brought it up, what do you think of the scandal? They kind of publicly accused him, but they didn't say what he did. So it's hard for me to judge what his punishment should be. And it feels like we're the victims because the show, as you said, did not transition very well.
I think he was like, I think they did say like he was too aggressive with the one girl, and like she said she had a boyfriend or something like that, and like
yeah, there was something about how she had to bring her boyfriend to the set sometimes.
Yeah, and stuff like that. I mean, I think as far as what his punishment should be, his punishment should be whatever his victims deem is credible for his punishment. I think that no, you shouldn't get to be on the show anymore, right? You probably should be persecuted in some other whatever. But like, I also
He was dropped by his talent agency, and I think he had somebody else, like some sponsor or somebody, dropped him too.
I mean, you deserve it. You deserve if you can't keep your emotions to yourself, you deserve that stuff. But also, like, I don't agree with people being like, yeah, and me over here who has nothing to do with that, I too want to make sure that he gets punished to the full extent. Like, why, dude? Why do you even care? But I mean,
do you believe that Lena Waithe didn't know anything was going on?
No.
Yeah, me neither. When I read her statements about it, I was like, that comes off as false.
No, I mean,
and I love her. She is like a goddess in the LGBTQ community. Obviously,
no, she's dope. She's a good writer.
Oh, I was going to ask you, which do you think is better, The Wire or The Chi?
The Wire.
Yeah, me too.
And I think that maybe because like I don't necessarily know what goes on like in jail or like firsthand or whatever, and I know like some of this stuff is not real that's happening in the Chi, Lena. But okay.
What do you think is not real?
Like the guy was like, one of my favorite lines. This new brother that comes, he's like, "Yeah, man, and I got this house in Kankakee, and I want you to come live with me." And I thought to myself, "Fuck that! Why would I leave Chicago and go live in Kankakee? Who wrote that? Like, why wouldn't you say Naperville or Aurora or something? Kankakee? Fuck you."
You think that's like nobody who grew up in Chicago, that character is not real. Like he would never want a house in Kankakee.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, what are you doing? You like, I mean, and granted, maybe this is happening, but as far as on the scale of near to far on the fetchness scale, this hardcore thug and his trans woman girlfriend in a house in Kankakee coming back to Chicago to save this brother who he didn't really know about and somehow knows how the other brother was killed and knows how to find these people but never popped up before.
See, I didn't even know his girlfriend was trans. Did they talk about that?
They like major allude to it, but also the reason why the other brother got killed off of the show was because he wanted a stunt double to do the role with the trans woman, and they told him no. So
Did he want a double for like sex scenes or for like kissing scenes?
From what I heard, all of the intimate scenes.
Dang.
So how do you feel about that? Do you think that it is within his right?
That's what I want to know. Like the show, like if he wanted a stunt double every time they were supposed to kiss, then yeah, I'm like, okay, what's the point? If he wanted a stunt double when they're having sex scenes, like when there's nudity involved, then that doesn't seem unreasonable. Like to my knowledge, that's something that a lot of famous actors do.
What's something that famous actors do? Like
they have stunt doubles for nudity.
Oh.
Like or like if there's a scene in the shower, that's not Brad Pitt's ass. That's right. Like some other fucking pumped up dude with a perfect ass's ass.
So my question is, if I'm not an actress or anything, so I don't know. I'm genuinely asking this. So if I'm a woman and somebody writes in a scene where I have to kiss another woman and I'm just not comfortable with that, then it's like you just have to find a whole new actress then?
I guess, yeah. I think these days, like if you're an actress, I think you should be able to play a queer role. I understand if you're not comfortable doing that, but I also understand if somebody who's put their heart into this decides to cast, like you're thinking about it from the person of like the straight cisgendered person's perspective. I'm thinking about it from the trans actor's perspective. Like how, that probably sucks if every time they get a role, they might potentially lose it if the star of the show is like, I don't want to make out with them,
True, but I'm also not necessarily just thinking about it from the straight point of view. I'm thinking about it, so like what if, I don't know, what if you are a trans woman and you don't want to kiss another woman? Like what, like, you know what I'm saying? Like what if you just don't want to engage in the sex that you don't engage with?
I think it's like 2020. Like if you're an actor, you should be willing to do, if you're willing to do kissing scenes with only with heterosexual partners, like that's probably going to limit your roles, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I get people ask me this all the time because a lot of people are like unfamiliar with, the trans community and trans culture, and people will say, is it wrong if I don't want to date a trans person? Does that make me transphobic? And I'm like, absolutely not. Like that's your personal preference. But when it comes to like this kind of stuff, these kind of discussions, I think it's a gray area, I think maybe they want that close up. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it's like somebody who's just like trying to advocate for normalizing queer or trans or homosexual relationships or whatever. That could be part of it. Or I wonder if genuinely the director or Lena or whoever the producer is like, no, I want close-ups with this romance. I'm deciding that this romance is part of what's important. Maybe it's both. I don't know. I feel like I'm going on a crazy rant here.
No, it makes sense. I'm not an actress. I don't necessarily feel a way about it. I don't like either way. I'm just wondering, like, I guess what the pulse is about it. I think
I've come a long way. I grew up a conservative Christian, extremely traditional, extremely conservative person where I used to think back because I've always wanted to be a comedian, I used to think I would never do any nudity. I would never do any sex scenes. I'm sure I would have never agreed to play any gay characters, even though I was secretly gay. Like, and now I'm just on the way other end of the spectrum. I'm just like a hippy dippy whatever girl. Like, so to
So,
me, I'm like, what's the big deal?
so I guess what my question is, for the, I guess, more conservative type, is there a lane for those people, or is it just like, get over your conservatism? You need to come up to this curve that everybody else is on.
I think eventually progress is progress, and I think we're gearing more towards a society that's more accepting of trans people and non-binary people, and pansexual relationships and relationships with multiple partners and queer, all kinds of queer relationships. And so I think towards the latter point you made, but I'm not like hard lined on it. You're probably, well, I think I judge that you are, like, for instance, much more conservative than me. And I'm cool with that. I still want to do a podcast with you. It's going to make the podcast better that we have opposing views. But I also agree with that second point you said, like, it might sting to people's ears, but yeah, I do think it's time to jump on board. Like, this is where we're headed. Like, if you're going to be an actor, do I think 20, 30 years from now, it's going to be acceptable for somebody to be like, oh, I refuse to do a kissing scene with a trans actress? No, I don't. I think that'll sound like archaic. I think that will sound one day the way somebody today thinking like, oh, I wouldn't want to do a scene in an interracial, I know it's not the same thing, but I think it'll sound as outdated as that sounds now.
So, as far as the Shy, I think that
off of our trans LGBTQ train towards PC culture.
There was a reason why we had to go there though, and so because a lot of people, I think that certain people don't like this season because it is a lot of, it's heavy on the LGBT.
Well, isn't that part of it?
But no, that's not why I don't like this season. I don't like this season because take away LGBT, if it was elephants, if it was literally whatever else you were just throwing in a season to not wrap up the other season, I don't like it just doesn't feel organic. It feels like you are just doing some shit to do some shit. Cause like you trumped up the one character, the pizza place guy or whatever, Perry. So you trumped him up. Now he's running for mayor. You did that so you can bring Lena in. Okay, now you're having this little mayoral race. That doesn't feel too whatever. I don't mind that. I kind of like where they're going with that. But like,
what do you think of Lena Waithe as a actress?
I think as an actress,
I think she's like I say this as one of her number one fans. Like, she's a little she misses the mark sometimes for me as this role,
because I don't think that she is. I think she's a really, really good writer. Let's put it like that.
That's how she got her break.
Yeah, and I think that she can play.
She wrote for Girlfriends or something.
That
was her first show.
I forget what her first show was.
But yeah, she was a writer originally. I also think like on Master of None, she plays herself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She can typecast herself. She can, do that very well. But like, do I think she has range or anything like that? No. But I also don't think that she really wants range.
She's okay being a shitty portrayal of our mayor.
When to me, what she's doing in The Shy, it doesn't even look like she's trying to act. To me, like she's just trying to be herself in a suit.
Who's your favorite character in the show?
Kevin. I love that kid.
Oh, he's so great. Yeah,
I love Kevin.
I also like early on that crazy drug dealer guy who's like always, he's got the beard and the glasses.
Oh,
and at one point, one of the lead guys is like really upset because like some crazy shit's just happened, and he's like, hey man, have you ever been to Wisconsin Dells? And it's the funniest fucking line.
Oh yeah, I like him, and I really, really like Papa. I love Papa.
Me
I like the
too.
kid. And so, see, this is the thing. The first two seasons were like very heavy on the kids feeling, and then like you were sprinkling in this like plot with Jason or whatever. This season, I feel like we're pulling, even though we are talking about Keisha and like Kevin has this like whatever's going on with him. I feel like it's kind of more adult based now, and like bringing in shit I don't really care about.
So you want more of the kids. More
Kind
Papa
of.
and his new girlfriend. That's so
Ah,
cute.
Aisha, they're just too cute.
Yeah.
I think
Speaking of cute, here's Carmen, everyone, listeners. I just saw her cute ass literally back into Kells' shoulder.
I don't know. But also, I hate when I'm like this with shows because I'm gonna finish it, right? Because
I was gonna ask you, are you gonna keep watching? How many episodes are left? Do you know?
Maybe like 5, I think.
Oh, okay. Because I think the first 2 seasons they only had like 10 episodes each or something.
Yeah, we're at 6. Oh, so 4, like 4.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't watch the last.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are not mathematicians. We are stoners.
Mathematicians, we are comedians.
I have to tell you the funniest thing. I was out walking my dog right before we recorded this. I was trying to get my dog to take a poo, and this other lady was coming by. And right when she came by, right when we made eye contact, I ate shit on the sidewalk. Like right when we made eye contact, it was so awkward. I fell into the cars.
Oh, did she look at you?
I'm sure she did. I was shamed. So shamed. My dog was like,
oh,
Amanda.
My favorite thing to do is stare at people when that happens.
You do. I know you do.
Oh, it was this one girl. I don't know what it was. Or no, I was gone for like a few days at my job. And so when I came back, I don't know, maybe I have like a booger in my nose, but for some reason, she could not stop like looking at me. Anyways, she's looking at me and I'm watching her look at me and about to run into the wall. So I like on purpose, like intensely stared at her so she would like keep looking at me. And when she ran into the wall, I stood up and clapped.
You would do that. I love it. Okay, how many stars would you give The Shy season 3, specifically this latest season, out of 5? Just like a podcast rating. How many stars out of 5?
3.5, only because I'm biased and it's in Chicago and I love
Okay. I love it for that reason too. I think listeners, I mean, you probably already watched the show if you're listening at this point. But if you don't, you're just considering it. I think if you like Chicago at all, you'll probably like the show. Yeah. It's nice seeing the L. It's nice seeing, like you said, recognizing different intersections, different parts. I found myself at one point looking up. I was like, where is this on the map? You know, I'm curious. I'm not super familiar with the South Side, so I like that part of it.
Okay, so I don't like that part of it. I don't like that the people who are not familiar with the South Side, this is the portrayal of the South Side. Not saying that it's like far, far, far off, but the South Side is like so many different things, right? Because you can be in Hyde Park, you can be in Inglewood.
Do you think they're making it seem too ghetto?
I think they're making it seem too blanket. I feel like if you're not from Chicago, you think as soon as you cross State Street, you're on the South Side, and it's gonna look like that. And that's not.
That's what most white people think.
And it's not. It's so many different. Like if you go to Hyde Park, I love Hyde Park. If you go to Inglewood, you may die. Like there are different parts of the South Side. Like you can't just say like all of the South Side looks like this. You know, you can't say that about the West Side. You can't say that about the North Side. There's no side of Chicago that you could just like blanket over. And I don't think, and maybe like I'm being too whatever because it's just
I don't know. Mine, all of Wicker Park is pretty. It's pretty. What would you call it? Pasta-y, Alfredo saucy.
Alfredo saucy. Oh my god. I mean,
white waspy.
I don't know. So like Humboldt Park, right? I think Humboldt Park, depending on which year, you've been there has been like 8 different things, right? Right now, Humboldt Park, you can find a good mix of anybody. 10 years ago, that was not the case. Like, you can't, and I feel like if you
You
don't
said
kind
that
of
like a mafia man just now. That was not the case.
that's
It
how
was
I
a
felt.
different time.
It was a different
Okay, so
time.
I give The Shy less than you, actually. I give it 3 stars, even though I feel like I spoke more favorably of it all the time.
Ooh.
I think I'm comparing it to The Wire, and it's just not as good as you said. I like you support it because it's Chicago, but I don't know if I would have kept binging it the way I did if we weren't doing this podcast about it.
And I would not, if this was season 1, if season 3 was season 1, I would not continue watching it.
Yikes. But it trends every week on Twitter. I feel like it gets a fair amount of love from our city.
I mean, you can, if you put Shy or Chicago in front of anything, it's a Chicago PD, terrible show. That always has a lot of love. Literally, you can put Chicago monkeys, and like we will, like, we got the best monkeys. Like, we don't care. We don't give a fuck. So
Chicago dingleberries.
exactly, and literally, that we will be like lining up to like evaluate dingleberries. Like, no, I like
Listeners,
that.
if y'all don't know what a dingleberry is, it's when you have little hairs on your butt and stuff gets stuck on the little hairs on your butt crack. Should we end the show with the butt crack hairs joke?
I think we should.
Listeners, make sure you rate us on iTunes and please leave a review. That really helps us in the podcasting algorithm. Also, email us if you have any questions. We're at windycitywomenpodcast@gmail.com. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at WindyWomen. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/Windy City Women Podcast. Facebook.com/Windy City Women Podcast. Wow, just go to the description because I'm all marbles right now. Too much of the weed.
Yeah.
Where are you at, Kells?
Me, myself, personally, I am Kells the Comic. You can find me at Kells the Comic, literally everywhere. Wherever you are at, if you type in at Kells the Comic, I will be there, I promise. And if I'm not there, you be there.
I'm at Amanda Costner, and that's spelled just like a Kevin Costner. I don't know why I'm talking like this. It's the end of the night. I've had too much Dr. Pepper. Yeah, we're also on YouTube. Please subscribe to us, all that good stuff. And we'll be back next week. We've got a fun episode next week. We're gonna have a special guest. I'm excited.
Woo!
I think you're gonna like this guest, a Chicagoan.